Faith perceives it as a reality, even though it cannot access it through the senses. Faith perceives it as a reality. Now, so faith is this assurance, confirmation, this title deed, this proof, this conviction, unshakable conviction that these things are mine.
Here is love, vast as the ocean, loving kindness as the flood. When the Prince of Life, our ransom, shed for us His precious blood. Who is love will not remember, who can cease to sing His praise. He can never be forgotten throughout heaven's eternal days. Who is love? Who is love will not remember, who can cease to sing His praise. He can never be forgotten throughout heaven's eternal day. On the mount of crucifixion, fountains open deep and wide. Through the floodgates of God's mercy flowed a vast and gracious tide. Grace and love like mighty rivers poured incessant from above, and heaven's peace and perfect justice kissed a guilty world. Grace and love like mighty rivers poured incessant from above, and heaven's peace and perfect justice kissed a guilty world in love. Truth, you do direct me by your Spirit through your word, and your grace my need is meeting as I trust in you, my Lord. Admissions are now open for the Full Gospel Bible College conducted by Sam P. Chelladurai. Classes begin from 12th January 2015. For details, write to FGBC PO Box 494, Chennai 7. You can also contact us by phone or email.
How from the beginning of Mark's Gospel, the story, the theme of faith keeps occurring again and again, where Jesus is talking about faith and the power of faith to turn things around. Talks about the faith of the man who was lowered from the roof, paralytic man. He saw their faith, the people that brought him, and healed him, it says. And in chapter 5, he sees Jairus' faith. He says, only believe. Even, you know, when the news is told that his daughter is sick, Jesus says, I'll come and heal her, and goes. And on the way, a woman with 12 years issue of blood, she comes and touches him, she gets healed. Jesus tells her, your faith has made you whole. And then as they go, the news comes that Jairus' daughter is dead. They say, don't trouble the master. She's dead. What's he going to do now? Jesus looks at him and says, only believe. Don't believe that. You believe what you first believed, that if I come and touch her, she will be healed, you said. Keep believing that. Believe, only believe. And he goes and heals the daughter and actually raises her from the dead. And then they go in a boat and there's a storm, and he calms the storm, speaks to the wind and the wave when it comes down, turns around to the disciples and says, where is your faith? In other words, he's saying, I've got faith. That's why I spoke to the wind and the wave, and they obeyed. You don't have faith? You're supposed to speak also. That's the implication there. Otherwise, you would not have asked them, where is your faith, right? Where is your faith, he says. Then in chapter 9, there is a guy that brings his son who's demon-possessed and as a dumb spirit, throwing him in water and fire, and asks Jesus to heal the son. And Jesus says, do you believe that I can do this for you? The man says, I believe, Lord, but help thou my unbelief. And Jesus says to him, if you can believe, all things are possible to them that believe. And when this song was being sung right now, all things are possible, I was thinking, if we take these guys' interpretation, we can't sing songs like this. All things are possible. See, all roads lead to that conclusion only. He's teaching about faith. Faith for which all things are possible. The power of faith makes all things are possible. That's the whole emphasis, starting from chapter 2. Then in chapter 10, you have Bartimaeus crying out to Jesus, Son of David, have mercy on me. And he tells them, bring him to me. And he says, what do you want? He says, I want my sight. He says, go your way. Your faith has made you whole. The whole emphasis is upon faith all the way starting from the beginning to 10th chapter. 11th chapter, it climaxes. The teaching on faith literally climaxes with this teaching about the statement, teaching about faith and the statement about mountain-moving faith. After this, there is no teaching about faith. After this, the story goes that he goes into Jerusalem, gets into more trouble, finally gets crucified, then risen again, and so on. The story completely changes. Yes, there is a temple theme also. Certain things are mentioned about the temple, prophesied about the temple, and so on. The temple theme also is there. The temple theme begins in chapter 11. The faith theme ends in chapter 11. Both themes are there. Both things happen 2 days. One day he curses the fig tree, goes into the temple, cleanses it. The next day he sees the fig tree cursed and then teaches on faith. And then after verse 26, again he teaches in the temple. Again, there's a whole lot of things about the temple in 12th chapter and 13th chapter and so on. So this passage is caught right in between all these temple incidences. So they say this has to do with the temple and not with the faith. So don't talk about faith from this chapter, they say. But if that is true, when Peter came and said, Lord, the tree that you cursed withered away, he should have simply said, Peter, remember, this is what is going to happen to the temple. Even if he didn't want to say it in so many words, and if he was not going to disclose that much that day, he could have said it in a veiled manner, that this is about the temple. Instead, he goes exactly the opposite direction. He says, when Peter says the tree that you cursed is withered away, he said, have faith in God. It's a direct statement about faith. He says, Peter, understand something about faith. I want to show you how faith works. What you have is not faith at all. You saw and you believed. I spoke and I believed whatever I spoke will come to pass. So have faith in God. Faith in God must be translated as faith of God. Many of your English Bible translations will tell you that. They will at least give a marginal rendering saying faith of God is a better translation. The newer Bibles will have that. Because in, of, and all of that is placed there only according to the context and so on. So that can be changed. Many suggest that it must be of God, not faith in God. It's faith of God. So if that is true, Jesus is saying, have the faith of God. In other words, have my kind of faith, not your kind of faith. Your kind is not faith at all. My kind of faith is what faith is. This is how faith works. How does faith work then? It speaks knowing whatever you say will come to pass. That's what faith is. Faith works when you believe that what you say will come to pass and you speak because you believe. That's why Paul says, we believe and therefore we speak. We have the same spirit of faith. As the psalmist said, we believe and therefore we have spoken. We have the same spirit of faith. Therefore we also believe and we speak. We speak because we believe, because we know that whatever we speak will come to pass. That's what the essence of faith is. Then he says the statement about the mountain. Even if you speak to the mountain, it will be. And notice, he says, whosoever. All these things don't apply to the temple scheme at all. If you interpret it as the temple, what is speaking to the mountain and whoever speaking to the mountain, not doubting in the heart, believing that whatever you say will come to pass, and you'll have what. All of these things do not apply to the temple at all. If it's about the temple, all of this is utter utterly unnecessary. All the statement makes no sense at all. This is talking about personal faith. Faith of a believer. It's talking not even about special faith. Some people say this is about some gift of faith that is given to some people to do some great thing. No, it is talking about a faith that is available to every person. Whosoever shall say unto the mountain. The power of faith. See, I feel very strongly about this because, that they're trying to draw the attention away from faith and the power of faith, which has been the emphasis every chapter, basically, up to chapter 11. Away from it to something that is much less significant, not very much useful to us. The story is about the power of faith. Even verse 24, which I'm going to show you right now. We looked up to verse 23. Verse 24 is about prayer. Based on what he has said about faith, he now says in verse 24, therefore, I say to you, what things soever you desire when you pray, or whatever things you ask when you pray, some translations say. Some translations say, whatever you desire. See, desire and ask are used interchangeably, the word desire and ask. If you use desire or ask, it's the same thing, because asking is simply asking what you desire. See, whatever you desire is not wrong. So whatever you desire when you pray, believe that you receive them and you shall have them. Even this, they try to link it with the temple, because in the temple he made a statement about prayer. He said, this shall be a house of prayer, God said. But you have made it a den of thieves. See, he started talking about prayer, and this is a continuation of that prayer thought, they say. No, what he said about prayer there is totally different from what he said about prayer here. It has no connection at all. There he is talking about how they've made it a den of thieves. It's their corruption and how it related to the temple, the purpose of the temple. Here he is talking about exercising faith in prayer. This is a statement clearly about faith. So now listen. Let's look into this, and now that we know that this is really about prayer, this is really about faith, and now he's giving prayer as an illustration so that we can understand how faith works, because that's what we're studying, how faith works. So he says, whatever you ask when you pray, believe that you receive them. Now this is what is very confusing. Believe that you receive them, he says. He should have at least said received them, or believe that you will receive them. That'll make sense. Believe that you receive them. It almost looks like some kind of mistake has happened here, Believe that you receive them, then you shall have them. You feel like saying, please tell me whether I should believe that I have received them or I will receive them. Believe that you receive them means, how do I believe that I receive them? How do I understand this? So, let me read to you from another translation. Thank God that we simple people, I'm also a simple person, you can simply go to some other translation, because these guys really try to bring out whatever has not been brought out here properly. The later translations are about that. They try to bring out the meanings that are missed here. So I'm going to read Richard Francis Weymouth's translation. Weymouth's translation is quite popular. Let me read from Weymouth's translation, verse 24. The same verse, which says, whatever things you ask when you pray, believe that you receive them, you shall have them. Look at how he translates it. He says, that is why I tell you, whatever you pray and ask for, if you believe that you have received it, it shall be yours. Once again, that's why I tell you, whatever you pray and ask for, if you believe that you have received it, it shall be yours. If you believe that you received it, it shall be yours. Whatever you pray and ask for, if you believed that you received it, it shall be yours. Here he translates it clearly as received it. He's convinced that it's received it, not receive it or will receive it. Received it. Now, the problem is, still it doesn't make much sense to ordinary people. Why? Because it says, believe that you received it, and then the next statement is the thing that confuses. You shall have it. If I have received it, then why should he say, I shall have it? If I received it, that means I have it. Hello? Are you following me? If I received it, then I have it. Why does he say, believe that you received it and you shall have it? Now the question comes, have I received it or not? Why are you saying, believe that you received it, and then you say, you shall have it? That makes it look like I did not receive it. Then now only I'm going to receive it. What is the truth? Go to Hebrews chapter 11, 1. Now faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. Okay, I'm reading from New King James. Faith is the substance of things hoped for, evidence of things not seen. Now let me read it to you from Amplified Version. I want to point out something to you, because you will understand now why he says, believe that you received it and you shall have it. That's the whole point of looking at this. Why? What is this about faith, that I have to believe that I received it and then I will have it? If I believe that I received it, did I not receive it? Why should it say, I shall have it? What is it about faith that I don't understand? Look at verse 1, Hebrews 11:1 in Amplified Version. I'm going to stop and explain every little bit of what Amplified Version gives here. It says, now faith is the assurance. Amplified Version puts things in brackets because it expands. After it says assurance, it expands on assurance. It says the confirmation, title deed, 2 words within brackets. Now faith is the assurance, that is the confirmation or the title deed of the things we hope for. Faith being the proof of things we do not see. See, you don't see it, but you have a proof of it. Your faith is the proof. Your faith is the title deed. What is a title deed? Title deed shows ownership. Suppose someone said, whose house is this? Is this yours? Say yes, and they don't believe it. You show what? You show your document which contains your name there. Document is proof of ownership. Now, we read here, now faith is the confirmation or assurance or the title deed. Faith is a title deed in what sense? Faith is the title deed that these things that I'm hoping for is mine. They belong to me. I have a divine right to it. It has been given to me in and through redemption by salvation in Jesus Christ. These things are mine. I am the owner. I am the owner of every blessing in spirit, soul, and body. And the title deed tells me that. Faith is my title deed. Faith is the title deed. Faith is the assurance, it's the confirmation, is the title deed of the things that I'm hoping for. That means those things that belong to me are not yet in my hands yet. Right? How many of you know that you can have things but not in your hand? Right? Suppose, always use this illustration. Suppose somebody left 100 crores. Some of you are thinking, my God, hope someday it happens, Just imagine if someday it happens, that somebody left 100 crore and you get a notice saying, you got 100 crore sitting in such and such a bank, in your name, such and such an account number, come and get it. You go, they're not going to give it to you just right away, You got to bring all kinds of IDs and proofs and all that. And there's probably a broker, who will broker this whole thing, work in between. There's a middleman usually, And he will work all the details out because you don't know anything about this. You'll need a lawyer for sure. You'll need an auditor for sure because you got to pay the government a lot of taxes. And by the time everybody gets through, you won't be getting 100 crores. I can bet on it, You'll be lucky if you got half of it. But you got to work things out. See, all the time you didn't have it, all the time that you were not using any 1 penny from that 100 crore, it was yours, right? But you were going through the process of claiming what is yours. But for never a moment you will cease from saying that it's yours. If anybody said it's not yours, you will take issue with it. It's yours. Even if you did not have 1 penny from it, even if you did not have 1 rupee transferred into your account, still you say, I have it, it's mine. You'll probably start borrowing based on that, Some of us are so good at that. Yeah, I'm getting it. Don't worry. I'll give it to you. It's coming pretty soon. Because even though we don't have it in hand, it's ours. Legally, it's ours. But actually, it has not come in yet. But legally, it is ours. All the blessings of redemption that has come to us in and through Christ is like that. They are in Christ Jesus. It's like a bank deposit, except this bank is very good. It's not going anywhere. Banks fail, but this bank never fails. Jesus never fails. So it is all in Christ. All the blessings are deposited in Christ for you and I. Deposited for us so that we can access it, we can get it. So even though I may not have even one little blessing out of it right now, every blessing is mine. I have a claim to it. I have a legal claim to it. It is mine in and through redemption. Right? So it is possible that you don't see it in your account, you don't see it in your hand, you don't see you having all of those things in hand and using it, but still, it's still in the hoping stage. You're hoping. You're hoping for these things, but you can have confirmation. Do you have confirmation that it's yours? Are you sure? Do you have the assurance that it's yours? Yeah, because they sent the notice. 100 crores is mine, right? The document said it. It's a legal document. Everything says that money is mine, right? So I have the assurance. I have the confirmation. Do you have the title deed for it? Yeah. The papers say that it's mine. See what I'm saying? Everything says that it's mine. Do I have it? Yeah, it's in the bank. Do I have it now? Can I? One of you came and said, can you give me just 1 crore? I can't because it's not right here yet. I'm still hoping for it, hoping to receive it. But I have the confirmation, assurance, the title deed that it belongs to me. That's what faith is. Just like you know for sure that it's yours. You know that the blessings of Calvary are yours. Blessings for spirit, soul, and body, and every area of your life is yours in and through Jesus Christ. All right? And then, see, the translation continues. Amplified is really amplified. So little words, they just make it big, They amplify it. So he says, now faith is the assurance, brackets, confirmation, title deed of the things we hope for. Faith being the proof of things that we do not see. Now listen to this. This is the most important part. And the conviction of their reality. What is faith? Not only assurance, proof, and confirmation and all that. It is a conviction of their reality. That means they really do exist. The things that I'm hoping for, they are really mine. And in my heart, I have a unshakable conviction that they are mine. They are really mine. Conviction of their reality. And then, this is good about Amplified, they amplify it, what it means, in brackets. After conviction of their reality, he says, faith, perceiving as real fact what is not revealed to the senses. That's what is meant by conviction of their reality. Faith, perceiving as real fact what is not revealed to the senses. That means I don't have it in hand, I can't touch it, feel it, use it right now. But faith perceives it as a reality even though it cannot access it through the senses. Faith perceives it as a reality. Now, so faith is this assurance, confirmation, this title deed, this proof, this conviction, unshakable conviction that these things are mine.
Attention all pastors. Sam P. Chelladurai invites you to a pastor's seminar at AFT Chennai on the 21st, 22nd and 23rd of January 2015. Every day from 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. Please note that all messages will be in Tamil only. Prior registration with a fee of rupees 600 is required. You can register online at www.revsam.org or you can call us at the numbers on the screen. We look forward to seeing you there.
In your presence, there is fullness of joy. At your right hand, there are pleasures evermore. You surround us with your favor, oh Lord. The earth is full of your goodness. The earth is filled with your love. In your presence, there is fullness of joy. At your right hand, there are pleasures evermore. You surround us with your favor, oh Lord. The earth is full of your goodness. The earth is filled with your exceedingly, abundantly, far above all we could ever ask or think. Exceedingly, abundantly, you give us all things to enjoy. In your presence, there is fullness of joy. At your right hand, there are pleasures evermore. Surround us with your favor, oh Lord. The earth is full of your goodness. The earth is filled in your presence. In your presence, there is fullness of joy. At your right hand, there are pleasures evermore. You surround us with your favor, oh Lord. The earth is full of your goodness. The earth is filled with your exceedingly, abundantly, far above all we could ever ask or think. Exceedingly, abundantly, you give us all things to enjoy. In your presence, there is fullness of joy. At your right hand, there are pleasures evermore. You surround us with your favor, oh Lord.